But first, yesterday was Ireland Day in New York, which was promoting Irish businesses to the world. Well, this Thursday sees our biggest PR opportunity to promote ourselves. Take a look at this.
Beautiful day.
Enough to promote ourselves overseas. Pat Kinsley, who is a leading branding expert, is with us now. Pat, are we milking St. Patrick's Day for all that it's worth?
We're not milking it enough.
No.
Actually, the one thing about St. Patrick's Day is I don't think the people actually in this country here understand the opportunity that they have. There's actually not one other country in the whole world that actually has a day of celebration that like about 80% of the countries actually celebrate.
Want to be part of.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable. As a marketing tool, the platform that gives us is unbelievable. And it's only really probably in the last 15 years or so, we as a nation here are actually starting to understand it, because it was, the parade is relatively new to Ireland compared to like in the States, goes back to 1762 and so on and so forth. But us here in Ireland have only just grasped onto that, because it was just about tractors and floats and ATA security back in the 70s and the 80s, and it was an advertisement. But now it's actually brought the whole arts and culture thing in. So it brings tourists in, you know, and it gives them a bit of what we're about. And Ireland has changed, obviously, because of the Celtic Tiger, the demise of it, and where we're going now. So for us to have a gift, and that's why I call it a gift, like St. Patrick's Day, we should actually appreciate that and milk it more.
Because they actually do it bigger in some parts of the world than we even do it ourselves.
I mean, look at the Empire
Turning
State
whole
Building.
rivers green.
Empire State Building's going to be green. The London Eye, Sydney Opera House, and so on and so forth. I mean, where do you get that? Like, that's free. We don't pay for that now, okay? We don't pay for that. That's actually free for this country.
What can we do then to maximise all this?
I mean, the key thing is, because I do work and I develop brands, and the key thing about that is actually to understand that when you're developing something like this for Ireland Inc., there's the business side and there's the emotive side that we want to bring tourists in. And not all coming here because we had a great Celtic Tiger and we're great into technology and all that stuff. They're coming here because they want to experience something. And I always bring it back down to the basics. The brand is basically the core. It's people. So we're the stakeholders of this brand here. So one of the key things, and I always say, I moved here almost 26 years ago, and Céad Míle Fáilte was the big thing, because no matter where you went, even in the capital here, Dublin, people said hello to each other. They stopped doing that. So we went from 100,000 welcomes. I actually was having the scale. I think we were down to about 15 at one stage. We're actually slowly but surely coming back up. So the first thing we need to do, and it's very easy, is to get the brand up and going, is to start to say hello. We were always in the land of the welcomes, you know? Start saying hello.
Because Fáilte doesn't sound the same as Céad Míle Fáilte. It just doesn't have the same ring when it's only 15. But Pat, a lot of people used to give out about, say, ministers going abroad for Paddy's Day. I think that's a brilliant opportunity for ministers and TDs and county councillors to go all around the world on this day. It's the big Irish day all over the world, and sell Ireland like it's never been sold before.
I have to agree with you 1,000%, and the reason is because technically they are the leaders of this machine called Ireland Inc., and they need to be going out there. And I know over the last couple of years in particular, they got a lot of bad press that they were going off on junkets, you know.
As long as they come back with results,
exactly.
Though,
it's a return on investment, because it's a very small investment for the return. And that big episode that they had yesterday in Stock Exchange in New York City, fabulous.
That's huge, like.
Fabulous stage.
Who else gets in there to do that?
Exactly, the luck of the Irish, I guess, if you want to call it that way. But Ireland actually has been doing that through its government bodies, but on a smaller scale. This was actually a grand scale day, and they need to be doing more of that. So that's the business side. But we need to now raise up, I guess, the emotive side, the people side of who we are. Little simple things that could be done once we start to understand a little bit more. When you go to Hawaii, you get off the plane, what's the first thing you get? You get a lei, okay? It's the first thing you get. How come we don't have somebody here giving shamrock or something like that? Might be corny, but it's a nice little touch for people coming. So little things like that. I know discussing this earlier on before I came on here, I was looking at things you could do. I think there was talk about possibly having like an open day, a free day. There's no reason why we shouldn't, maybe even the day, maybe the 16th of March, actually people come over to the country, and we actually have a national free day. It's almost like you went into a big trade show where you go into shops, you go into restaurants, and you go into places, and they have samples of what they do for free, the whole country. And it's funded by the government as an investment going there.
Another suggestion was free hotel rooms. I heard that one bandied about.
You know, even just bringing the cost of hotel rooms back down to basics would be a nice start.
Well, it is now. I mean, it certainly has improved.
Free,
you didn't see Frontline last night,
I saw the last 10 minutes. absolutely beautiful piece of TV because the positives are starting to come back.
Wasn't it just fantastic? It was actually inspiring. It was the report at the very beginning where they actually...
I didn't see that part, yeah.
Oh, it was just fantastic. Actually, I think RTE should probably run it as a promo just every day, a shorter loop. No, honestly, because it did make you realise that this tiny little country of ours is actually not doing too bad. We're doing brilliantly, in fact.
You know,
we've a lot to be proud of and to boast about.
And the one thing is we're not the only country in the world that went down the tubes with the banks and all of that stuff. So we have to look at it. We're all basically, you know, playing on the same sheet. What are we going to do about it? It's up to ourselves as the stakeholders here.
Yeah, we're all responsible. You're right.
I mean, even simple things. I know export and the food and all that stuff is ways to move this country forward. But if you remember years ago, they had the Irish sweepstakes. If you took that methodology and put it into the likes of Board Beer, even down to Guaranteed Irish and Love Irish Foods, and put something in every piece of food that's around the world in there that people actually bought it and almost got stamps to come over here and get a free trip over. So.
We'll be back on our feet in no time. Thank you very much, sir, for coming in today.
Thank you very much.
And happy St. Patrick's Day to you.
And happy St. Patrick's Day to you too.
Thanks.